I'm going to give them security, safety, and jobs. I'm going to give them a good economy. We have a very bad economy right now. We could literally be on the throes of a depression, not recession, a depression. And they can't have that. They can't have that. So I think I'm going to do well with everybody. But basically, we're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to get the energy prices down almost immediately, and we're going to close the border, and we're going to get the crooked ones out, the bad ones out, and we're going to let a lot of people come in because we need more people, especially with AI coming and all of the different things, and the farmers need, everybody needs. But we're going to make sure that they're not murderers, killers, drug dealers, and the kind of people that we have largely coming in right now. Okay?
Mr. President.
Right. Well, look, the Federal Reserve is a very interesting thing, and it's sort of gotten it wrong a lot. And he's tending to be a little bit late on things. He gets a little bit too early and a little bit too late. And, you know, that's very largely it's a gut feeling. I believe it's really a gut feeling. And I used to have it out with him. I had it out with him a couple of times very strongly. I fought him very hard. And, you know, we get along fine. We get along fine. But I feel the president should have at least say in there. Yeah, I feel that strongly. I think that in my case, I made a lot of money. I was very successful. And I think I have a better instinct than, in many cases, people that would be on the Federal Reserve or the chairman.
This is the cost of food. This is the cost of your basics. Every single thing is up. Eggs up 48%. Cookies up 27%. Look at what's going on. Butter up 31%. And this is just the beginning. It's a disaster.
The Fed had to prove its bona fides because they were afraid of losing jurisdiction to the SEC. And that shooting Custodia was the first thing that they had to do. We got thrown under the bus for political and career reasons.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the cash out. And guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. New videos are coming. But guys, we have Trump stating we could be going into a depression. Guys, we're already in a depression. The recession started last year, fourth quarter. And Trump says he's going to close the border and then says he's going to let a lot of people in. Yes, guys, you heard that correct. And he threw in AI. And guys, we know the robots, algorithms, and drones are about to take over this economy. And the jobs the American people won't want to take. We know that's the reason why they're bringing in the immigrants. We've seen this movie before. And then Trump on the Fed. And we know when Trump was in office, he did nothing to the Fed. The leader of the United States is called a president for a reason, because they're the president of the corporations and banks. They work for the big corporations and the big banks. And Trump on food inflation. And all this inflation started when Trump was in office. They did all that money printing. And you have a handful of companies that own all the food. Is this an illusion of choice? But the money printers started when Trump was in office. Remember, guys, they printed 80% of all money in existence in 2 years. They wanted to kill this fiat system in order to bring in this digital economy. And remember, the Cryptoteacher tells you. And we have Grant Cardone knows that the Fed destroyed the housing market, raising rates so quickly. We have all this credit card debt, bankruptcies going through the roof. Small and medium-sized banks are crumbling. Every time I drive around, an old business that was open is now closed. And the majority of the stores that are open are chain stores. And right now, these small and medium-sized banks are getting a break. But we know they're going to crumble. And we're seeing a lot of consolidation behind the curtain. Basel III is going into effect. And these capital requirements are going to crush these small and medium-sized banks, which is going to further crush these small and medium-sized businesses, which is going to cause unemployment to spike. And we're already seeing unemployment spike. And that's the reason why financial literacy is so important. And those who've been with me from the beginning, yes, finances is bored, but it'll take care of you and the generations to come if you have the knowledge. Remember, my people perish from the lack of knowledge, because they reject it. Not because it's not there, because they reject it. And in the fourth industrial revolution, if you reject the knowledge, you're going in the metaverse. And remember, when you go inside that metaverse, they'll be able to download you. If they can download you, they can delete you. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. But that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the books.
Interested in data centers, and I know we don't have the amount of capacity that we need given everything that's going on with AI and biotech and the need for more energy.
Yeah, look, anywhere where housing or storage is affordable is going to continue to win. AI cannot replace where people live or where data is stored. So we're looking at data centers around the country. This will be a massive expansion because of AI and the needs and demand for more electricity. These are basically empty boxes that support chillers and electricity. But housing cannot be fixed in this country, no matter what anyone does. There's no such thing as affordable housing. Every major city, San Francisco, New York, Chicago, all these cities that talk about affordable housing, the housing has become less affordable. In fact, the top 15 markets in the country are all blue states where the housing gap, the gap between the mortgage and the rent is double today, and it will continue to get wider and wider until interest rates get lower. Hopefully Donald Trump gets in there. In a year from now, I predict that we'll see a 2% interest rate, and we'll see housing rocking again in this country. How to do what wealthy people do, and unfortunately America does not have access to this information. I wrote Donald Trump just 3 weeks ago and said, let's provide Americans with real financial literacy. That has not been done in this country since George Bush tried to do it in 2004. He was probably the wrong personality to do that. But America needs to be educated about wealth creation, not just the middle class and not just the American dream and not just buying a home, but what are the wealthy doing that is not being taught in schools and colleges.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Discussing.
You're absolutely right, Grant. And, for me, it started at home, very basic ideas of saving your money and ensuring that, you save first was sort of a fundamental in my household. But for me, it started with my mother. I don't know that that's going on enough. If you're not getting it at home, I don't think you're getting it at school either.
No, you're definitely not. People are using credit cards. We have the highest credit card debt in the history of planet Earth and plastic at the highest interest rates in history. And yet people continue to use those as a solution to pay for things when they should be learning how to produce more income for themselves, which, by the way, there's endless opportunities, more opportunities today to produce extra revenue than there ever has been in history.
Like what? Give us some ideas.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, e-commerce is a business that I'm in today that I wasn't even in 6 or 7 years ago that costs nothing to get into. The consulting business, the cosmetic business, the health industry.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, is time to re-educate. Also, if new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance, do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Team save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Team save New York. COVID stories 3. Part 3.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.